So there we are, we're gonna turn back to New York and try to survive the rest of the voyage. Oh my gosh! Well, that took me off guard. We just ran into a mine. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am back in Tiny Sailor's World, and today's video is going to be a bit of a shorter one as we only have one thing to check out, and that is the Coronia update. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so here we are in Manila, and here is the Coronia. It looks really good so far. So let's go ahead and let's get sailing. Now, since we don't have a lot to look at today, we're going on a fairly long voyage from Manila, of course, to New York City. So I believe this is one of the longest voyages you can take in Tiny Sailor's World, so this should be pretty fun. Hopefully we don't have anything terrible happen, but we'll see how it goes. Now, if you are wondering, yes, there is interior to this build. There's a couple of public rooms and also some cabins, so yeah. Now, there is another livery. We have this one, of course, and then there is this one here, so we've got a black hull and a red funnel. But I'm more in favor of the orange funnel and the green hull. I think that looks a little bit better. So we're going to stick with this one until we actually sink the ship, and then I'll sink the ship in the other livery. Now, the Coronia, unfortunately, did sort of sink. It broke free from its moorings during a storm, I believe, and then ran aground on some rocks, and actually had to be blown apart using explosives because they needed to cut up the ship so it wasn't just sitting there. And I believe that's the story. I could be wrong. There's definitely a little bit more to it. But yeah, very interesting end for a relatively cool looking ship. So far, we have actually made it to Sydney, and we're gonna pull over here and sort of stop and check out the island. We'll also stock up on some fuel because we're down to 70%. Alright, there we go. We've refueled, and let's just pull over here and stop, and we'll take a look at the island. Alright, that should be good. Let's drop the anchor. There we are. So here we are in Sydney, and that is actually a pretty cool view, standing on the dock and seeing our ship just sitting out there. And here we have some mini docks. These are perfect for the fishing and trawling vessels that sail around this port, so that's cool. But there we are. Let's go ahead, let's get back to the ship and continue sailing. Now, hopefully we'll have enough fuel to make it there. I'm pretty sure we will because we just fueled up here and I think we're at the halfway mark. Actually, on second thought, we are a little less than halfway. Looks like we've got an ice biome over here, which is a little bit concerning because usually ships and icebergs don't go well together. Actually, it looks like there's a pretty clear passageway. I'm thinking about sailing just around this side. I'm definitely not going to sail over to the right because that looks impassable. Definitely some scary looking icebergs around. We've got these normal ones, but then these really spiky ones. Alright, it's getting a little bit narrow up in here. We have to sail through this very thin channel, but I'm determined. I think we can make it. Alright, there we go. We've made it through. And yeah, this is it. We have survived the ice biome. Now what I'm going to do is make a right and continue for New York City. Now I'm also not going to be taking the shipping lane for this video. I want to see if we can actually survive without sailing with the shipping lane. Alright, it looks like we've now got a blizzard, which is pretty funny because you'd expect that in the ice biome, but now we've left the ice biome and then we're getting a blizzard, so yeah, that's a little bit strange, but there we are. You know what? Why don't we stop over at Rio just to fuel up again since we're down to 60%. It shouldn't be too much of a delay. I would imagine since this is only a stopover port, it doesn't get a lot of visitors. So there we are. We're going to turn back to New York and try to survive the rest of the voyage. Oh my gosh. Well, that took me off guard. We just ran into a mine. Alright, I'm going to close watertight doors. We've got somewhat of a list, and yeah, our speed is down to 14 knots. Now, I did immediately start pumping out the water, but of course, there is a cooldown with that, so I can only do it so many times. Now, luckily, the storm has ended, so the ship isn't wobbling around a lot, and we have a better view of how far down the ship is in the water. Let's try to pump out some water again. There we go. We're back up to a good amount of health, and our speed is up to 19 knots. So that's definitely an improvement from where we were a minute ago. We are still leaning, but luckily all of the portholes are above water. And I see something. It almost looks like it's the stern of a ship going under. Oh yeah, there is a ship sinking here. Well, let's rescue some of these lifeboats. Alright, so it looks like we have rescued all the lifeboats, so let's get going. And now New York is only a few miles away. We should be able to see the buildings pop up in any moment. There they are. They're a little difficult to see because the lights haven't loaded in, but we have made it. Despite a bit of a hiccup with a mine, we have actually survived a very long journey all the way from Manila to New York City. So with that done, I have changed the ship's livery, and now we're going to sail out to deeper water and sink the ship. Let's go ahead and let's see if there is a sink by simulation. So there is not, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the sink by current damage. And here I am walking around on the ship as it goes down. The ship is slowly going under. I can just see those forward portholes going down. Let's go onto the very back deck of the ship. As you can see, we've got a lot of umbrellas and seats and apparently a person that fell over. Yeah, this is not looking good for the ship. All of those interior spaces down below are rapidly flooding. We can actually see it here if I clip inside the ship. There's water flooding up the hallway. The Coronia is no more as the stern goes vertical into the air and the rest of the ship sinks to the bottom. Here's a very cool view as the ship goes down. We've got the bubbles coming up from the bow. Well, there's not much left of the ship at this point, just the stern out of the water as it goes down, and it's going down a lot faster now. You can see it visibly going under. Now this will be interesting. It's a bit of an incline down here, so we'll see what happens. There goes the funnel and all of the other stuff inside the ship falling out, and there it is. It is landed upright. So that is it. If you want to check out the update yourself, a link will be in the description, and if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and a comment, and I'll see y'all next time, guys. Goodbye.